Today on Mastering Military Life, I have Miss Dana Hess with me, who is a 16-year military spouse, I guess former military spouse, as myself. Former for two different reasons, one by divorce, one by transitioning out. But either way, the expert in surrendering and how to let go of the things that you cannot control in your military life and how to just learn to go with the flow. Dana, thank you so much for joining me.
No, you're welcome. Thanks for having me. I'm excited.
So, 15 years as a military spouse is a long time. Tell me a little bit about what that journey was like. Like, where did you and your husband meet? Where were you guys stationed? Deployments, PCSs, all the good stuff.
Right. So we met through mutual friends, and we are from the same area at home, but we went to two separate schools. So, like, we never knew each other. So I was already in my working life, full time. I was a hairstylist. I was working at a salon. And my girlfriend was like, "You need to meet this friend of ours. It's my husband's friend. He's coming home." He was stationed over in Mildenhall, England at that time. So he's like coming home to visit for the holidays or whatever. And she's like, "You need to meet him." And I was very like, "No, I'm good. I'm good. I don't really want to meet anyone." No offense. I was like, "I don't want to meet anyone in the military." So- and she's like, "No, no, no. I think you would really like him." And I'm like, "Okay." So reluctantly, I went. I was late. She had to twist my arm. And then, yeah, honestly, we totally hit it off. So, yeah, like I said, we're from the same area at home, in central Pennsylvania. And we met, we hung out a lot. And before you knew it, I was over there visiting in England because he was on a 4 year, I think, 4 year tour over there. And yeah, visited, loved it. Was very smart, obviously, too. I'm like, wait, I can't just move over to England for just a man. I'm
Mhm.
also going to take my career over there. So when we were there, I looked for opportunities and I absolutely had a bunch of opportunities from the salon being like, "We would love for you to work for us over here." So a few months later, here I am in Mildenhall, England with the Air Force. So
Wow.
yeah,
How long
whirlwind.
did you guys date before you got married?
We lived together a year before we got married, which was nice. So, mhm.
Where were all the areas that you were stationed? How many PCSs and deployments?
Yeah, one full deployment, but so many TDYs that got really long. Sometimes 3, 4, 5 month TDYs, which felt like deployments. Sometimes a couple times a year. I remember looking back, there was a few times I'm like, wow, out of the past 2 years, we were together in person for only like 6 months of these. So I'm sure a lot of other spouses can relate to that thought. Um, but I think it was like 8 PCSs. We were Mildenhall, Dover, Hawaii, New Jersey, Vegas, Texas. Oh, he started in Texas then too. So yeah, it was crazy.
What was your favorite duty station?
I'm honestly gonna say it was England. It was United Kingdom. Yeah.
And
Hmm.
did you keep doing hairstylist at every PCS?
No, did it at I did it at three places. So I did it in England, I did it at Dover, and then I did it at Hawaii too. But
And
that's when
then
then I transitioned into doing real estate as well.
I was going to say, and now you are a top real estate agent in the Delaware area. I mean, covering Delaware, Pennsylvania area.
Mhm.
What was that transition like?
That was really funny and a really just, it was one of those moments in life where you felt like you were like it was kind of handed to you on a platter and you were given an opportunity and you're like, I think I should take this. So, yeah, to keep a long story short, I was doing hair full time in Delaware, fell into a salon there. When we PCSed into Dover, obviously, we purchased a home. So we actually ended up working with the broker who owned that actual brokerage. And she was amazing. She was a woman in about her like mid 40s. And I was 22 at the time. And we totally hit it off. Like I said, she helped us purchase. And then she became my hair client. And she was my hair client for about 6 years. And then she got me all the other realtors and people from her brokerage to be my clients as well and just learned a lot and formed really good relationships with all of them and her included over those years. And they were always like, "Get into real estate, come work with us, come join my team, come work with us." And I was always like, "No, no, no." And then I just realized, I was getting a little older, into my 30s, almost 30, and being a full-time hairstylist is very physically demanding. And I was like,
Mhm.
let's try something else. So finally I just did it. The opportunity presented itself again and I did it and I never looked back. So, mhm.
I love that. If that's not inspiration for reinventing yourself as a military spouse, I don't know what is, because now you are like one of the top agents and team leaders in like the state. So that's a wild,
It's a
wild
whirlwind.
story.
Yeah, it's a blessing for sure. I love it.
And one of the skills that you had to master in all of this 15 years, however many PCSs that was the art of letting go, of surrendering,
Yeah.
of identifying what is inside of our control and what is outside of our control, and how do I react to what I cannot control in military life. Can you kind of give me an example of or a story when you're like, wow, I really need to work on this, otherwise this is going to be a miserable kind of quality of life?
Yeah, choosing to go over to Mildenhall, England and like, leave my family and, never I've traveled a lot, of course, but I never like left fully. So to fully move to another country and then 3 months later your boyfriend at that time is like, I got to go 3 or 4 months to Japan or Korea or whatever it was. And I was like, and you're on your own. But that's why I also, thank God, I established putting myself in the positions of getting a job, even if it was just part time in some places, to get me out of the house, to get me out of a routine of being alone and meeting new people. Because again, I just think putting yourself out there is the best way, no matter what that looks like, whether it's joining church or joining groups or joining spouses groups or whatever. But like I am one who's a homebody and I can actually be very like quiet and very like I love just quietness and being in my own space. But yeah, pushing myself constantly out of my comfort zone and like I said, meeting new people, new situations was really what connected all those dots for me. So
So it started with kind of finding your own tribe, right? Wherever our spouses go, if they're active duty, they have their tribe. They show up, they sign in, right? And whether they know the people in their command or not, they're going to be with these people 12, 13 hours a day. They probably went to training and boot camp with some of them or with, friends of friends, like that 6 degrees of separation is so small. But if you don't have that, if you don't make an effort of that as a spouse, it's just going to be 10 times harder.
yeah, yeah, and especially if they're gone and they leave that country from you're alone. Like you've got to be able to branch out really quickly and meet people. Yeah. And also be flexible and learn that like they're going to leave. So keep meeting new people, keep bringing people into your circle. And yeah, it's a big bonus to be doing that.
Was there any times where the military just completely changed plans on you very quickly and it
Oh
just
my
really
gosh.
uprooted everything that you guys thought was coming next?
There was a period of 3 or 4 years because we were stuck at Dover for 8 years. And we kept getting orders for special duties, and then they would get taken back. And then we would get orders to a new place, and then we get taken back. And then I think that literally happened 3 or 4 times. And we went each time to go visit the places beforehand because we were able to, which was nice. And then we were like, okay, we can make this work. We can live here, or figure out where I would be working. So there was a lot of periods where it was, okay, hurry up, your PCSing, and then, oh, you're not now. And that was very stressful. And I'm telling you, it was 4 or 5 times, and it was over this few amount of years, and I was completely over it. I was completely over it. Yeah.
I mean, we talk about being disruptive to the military life and the struggles that us military spouses have with like employment. Imagine being in like Dana's client base, right? Being like, oh yeah, we think we're gonna leave in a couple months. Like you need to start looking for someone else to do your hair. I'm not gonna be able to help you sell your house after all. And then all of a sudden be like, nope, I'm staying. Like it causes disruption on so many different levels. So
So
every time that that happened, were you telling your clients that you were working with, or were you just like, until we are 10 days out, I'm not gonna put everything at risk?
I mean, because I share everything, I was telling them, and they were all going on the journey with me too. And, of course, I was going to give them an end date officially when it happened. But yeah, no, it was a lot. Even for my husband at that time, it was very, very stressful.
So you seem pretty laid back. Have you always been a go with the flow type person, or did you have to learn this?
I I think I have been always a go with the flow type of person because life just lifes and things pop up and you can either fight it or you can kind of just go with the flow and see where it takes you. So, the older I get now, I am a little more firm on a lot of things. But like I said, like learning that things that come your way that you would have never expected could also be a blessing or an opportunity because sometimes things happen to push you out of a way where you weren't supposed to be, maybe, and to present something bigger and better coming. So, yeah.
So you're the if a door closes, a window opens person?
Yes, yeah. Even
Okay.
if that door, like, it slams shut and you keep grabbing at it. Yeah.
You know what's so funny is as I have these conversations with our guests, I think everyone feels like it's innate, but I also know you as a person at like their skill, right? That they feel like their skill is very innate, but I also know you as a person. I know that you dedicate yourself towards like staying in this like surrender mindset, in this like attraction mindset, in
Yeah.
this you are also actively choosing to be unbothered. So, and you read books and you listen to podcasts, and that's what you surround yourself with. So, what
Yeah.
is the type of media that you consume that kind of helps you stay in that mindset?
Yeah, so I wasn't much of a reader younger, and I feel like I've missed a lot of opportunities like that. But lately, I've really fallen into reading, and The Miracle Morning has really like completely changed a lot of things in my life, and it's just a practice that you can, look into it. You can make it as long or short as you want, but it's really put some more discipline back in my life, and it's brought a lot of like intention and good energy, and it's been really good for me. I also just like have really not the healthiest person in the world, but like even when I was younger, I walk every day, sometimes twice a day, so I've always walked, and always had a periods of time where I would really practice Pilates and yoga, and that's been, you know, that goes into meditation too, and that's been really good practices for me because things I don't want to let go, you learn to just start letting go of things.
So tell me about the Miracle Morning. What was life before, like before you started doing the Miracle Morning? What is it? And now what is life like after?
So I've always tried to, I have a lot of energy and I'm always like, trying to, whether it's getting my day going for work and trying to be disciplined and trying to like work off like being excited and encouraged, you're not always going to be like excited about showing up for work or showing up for whatever you need to do. But getting up and like going right into my miracle morning, like I said, put that discipline in there, and it got me excited to just get up again and focus on me and like give some energy to myself so I can go out there and be the best version of myself that I can be. Um, it's just a practice. It's the Savers method. So it's silence, which would be meditating. SAVERS. A would be affirmations. V would be visualizations. E is exercise. R is reading, and then the S is scribing, so writing it out. So I just do 10 minutes on each. So it's a 60-minute practice. It helped me trim back down five pounds again, but it's also just brought a lot of clarity. It brought a lot of, there's a lot of noise in this world.
Hmm.
More than ever, I think. I don't know. We'll always have that. But so like the meditation, and I do guide it. I just watch like a 6-minute video on YouTube or something. And so I just start with that and I do the other things, and it just gets you very quiet. It gets you very centered and purposeful. And I just feel excited about my day. I can visualize new things that I want to be doing with my life, or like things I'm wanting to attract or whatever. And it's just been really great. And I'm more peaceful and more calm throughout my day. I mean, I tend to do have a little nervous anxiety sometimes, which maybe it's ADD because I get overexcited about things, but
Hmm.
lots of movement in my life, but it centers me more. And I can show up more and I'm more present, and I have wonderful, more engaging conversations with people. It's just brought a lot of fullness back to my life, and I love it.
A lot of peace, a lot of content.
Yeah,
Yeah.
for real.
So for those of you who are not aware, your first hour after awaking, your brain is in like theta wave state, which means it's very susceptible to suggestion. And so when we're running this crazy and chaotic, military lifestyle where we have to be reactive and responsive, really what we want to be is responsive. We don't want to be reactive, right? And like so many of us, and not me on my bad days, I roll over and I pull out my phone and I go straight into my algorithms and I
Yes.
check my messages and I check my
Yeah.
emails. And what we do is we put our brain like directly into a reactive, highly emotional state, which then becomes difficult for your body to get out of. And this is where it
Yeah.
gets into that unregulated nervous system. So
Yeah.
the miracle morning, whether you're using it to like reconnect and create that quiet space for yourself, what it's also doing is it's regulating your nervous system and preparing your brain for the day ahead. So we're less reactive, we're less emotional, we have less anxiety, we have scientifically less stress. And so if you are a military spouse, you're getting ready for a move, or if we're struggling getting a job, or you have 3 kids that you're juggling on your own, like I did, creating that space can be really powerful because it really sets you up, to meet your day.
Hmm.
Just
Thank you.
completely
You
changes
said,
the daily experience. How do you feel like having standards for yourself helps to support a more healthy mindset?
I just feel like having healthy boundaries with people, people will take advantage so quickly.
One of the things I've always that I've stolen from you is I love that for you. And I feel like people are starting to say that now. Like I'll be in space and I'll hear it. I'm like, I know exactly what that means. What people need is like a kind, polite way of
Mhm.
saying, this is just not for me, right? But I love that for you because you say it in a sincere way. You're not
Yeah,
saying it in a
not
snotty way.
sarcastic. Yeah. No, I think, letting people do what they want to do. You can't change people. You can only change yourself and how you react to the situation. So sometimes I think just like, again, letting people go to go do their own thing and wishing them and blessing them and doing the best, that's all you can do. So
And just not taking it on,
yeah,
not letting it be
take
your
it
thing.
personally. No, I
Since
mean people not choosing to work with you or not choosing to be your friend or whatever, like that could potentially be a them thing. It's not necessarily a you thing or anything you did. Like your people will come to you.
yeah. And if you surround yourself with people who are not your people, the world's gonna be like, you are full. You don't need any more people. But it's like, no, these are not my people.
Yeah. Yeah.
No. Man, we need a space for like the relaxed military spouse.
I agree. That's actually a really good idea. Yeah.
It's the name of our next group.
Yeah.
Did you read Mel Robbins' book, Let Them? Or were you exposed
No,
to
I
that?
need to. It's on my list. My girlfriend is reading it and she's telling me all about it. And we are all hearing and seeing those clips of Let Them, but we're not seeing the second part that's in the book of Let You. And
Hmm.
so her and I have been talking about it a lot. And she's like, but remember, let you. And like, it's true. It's just, again, it's all about healthy boundaries. And it's on my list for sure.
It's all about that personal perspective that you control what you can control. You cannot control other people's behaviors. You can only control how you react and respond, like exactly like you just said. But the second part of it is let you, right? Is that you then have a responsibility to do what's in your best interest. Just like every time you PCS, it was important to you to have something on your own, to have people on your own, to have work on your own. So that way you never felt like stifled by military life. It would be a great book for military spouses to read who are struggling with this idea of how do I kind of surrender to what I can control and can't control. And then also, how do I still have ownership and kind of my own path? You have a lot of spouses out there who are struggling being reactive. They're probably being reactive to their spouse. They're being reactive to their kids. They're probably being reactive online. It's like their constant state of heightened anxiety right now is ultimately completely not surrendering and go with the flow.
Mhm.
If they hear this and they're like, ah, I want that peace, I want that kind of sense of content feeling that Dana has, what are a couple steps you would recommend that they take to get there?
I would recommend start doing everything the opposite of what you're doing. Like, but also like pause. Are you taking any time for yourself? Like carve that time in there. Go take a walk. Go set up an appointment with your PCP. Go talk about like your mental health. Go start eating good. Like put things in you that are slowly going to start to turn the tide so you get good results out. Go if you're always in your house and you don't want to meet people or you're living in a small world, like push yourself as hard as it can be to like go expand your world, even if it's just baby steps. I just find like the baby steps over time make a huge difference. So just try to catch your thoughts, try to catch what you're doing, and if you want something different, go start acting different to go get those things.
I love that. You're not going to get a different result by doing the same activities. You got to
No.
really examine like what's putting you in that mindset space.
Mhm. And sometimes we're our own worst enemy. Like I've been there. I've definitely been in some dark places and definitely, yeah. but there's others who want to help get you out of it. And there's a ton of good people in this military community there that are very open-minded, and if you plug in, it can be a really great community.
Where do you recommend plugging in?
You know what? Even I've had really good experiences with the chaplains and like that over the years, plugging into them. Like, even if you don't go to the church, like going and talking to them, they have offices. They're nice. They're very comfortable offices. You can go and schedule, or you can just go pop in. And like, I've always been met very warmly, having good conversations with them. Um, I've had good conversations, or like had good interactions with some of the spouses clubs, like the girls, like there's like a lot of walking clubs, like meet up to go walk here, those kind of things that you're interested in. Like, if you're not a mom, or you're not, you know, I was always a working spouse, so I find I didn't fit in. Not that I just didn't fit in because I didn't have as much in common with the spouses who do have children, which I love, and all my friends have children. So trust me, I'm there, like hanging out on the floor, holding
Mhm.
the kids. But like, putting yourself in those environments again where people you might have more in common with is a great place to start.
I love that. I
Yeah.
think that's great advice. Dan, thank you so much for sharing your skill with us today on how you master surrendering as a military spouse. I think that this episode is really going to help a lot of people kind of get that relaxed frame of mindset and kind of also realize that it's in their control, right? Is that we choose how we react. And if we're not choosing, then the first step is we got to put ourselves in the position to choose by making different decisions, surrounding ourselves with different people, and changing up our daily activities to give space for growth. So thank you so much for joining us.
You're welcome. Thanks for having me.